A big welcome to you. Welcome to the Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective. My name is Gina Virginia Casella. I'm your host, and it's just been such a pleasure connecting with you on Saturdays. And so today I'm excited to share with you my new spirit water. I'm calling it my Bridgit spirit water. So let's open up some sacred space. I've got some pictures to show you, and I'm feeling excited. I haven't tasted this yet, and I'm using it today because I've never used it before. I just made it. It's nice and fresh. And anyways, I just wanted to share that with you. That's going to be my first time wetting my lips with it. So it's really special. So the south is straight ahead. To the winds of the south, snake. Thank you for teaching us to shed our skins, to shed our ways of the past, carry with us our there we go. The AI is recognizing my hand gesture. Thank you, AI. Oh, it's recognizing again. Okay, I'm not going to worry about it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, great serpent, for helping us to remember to shed our skins and to only carry with us our high quality items forward. Aho. To the winds of the west, jaguar. Mother such a jaguar. Protect us the way of peace. Do it impeccably. Show us the way beyond death. Aho. To the winds of the north, hummingbird. We're expecting 30 centimeters of snow over the course of the weekend. Thank you for reminding us that through this beauty prayer, we pull with us the high quality items, and even snowy, blowy days are high quality items, bringing us water for the soil. Snow in the wintertime is very important because in the springtime, we need the water. We need it to provide those precious pools, salmon pools, precious spring pools. And we also require balance, because in the springtime, if the snow is melting too fast, it's dangerous for flooding. And so we think about you, hummingbird, during this time of winter, because we know that as we alchemize, we need to keep setting goals, but we're also flying by the seat of our pants, literally the edge of our feet, hummingbird style. And we want to make sure we proceed putting safety first is the message I'm receiving today. Thank you so much, hummingbird, and great winds of the north. To the winds of the east, great eagle condor, thank you for all of the perspective that you bring, teaching us to zoom in, to zoom out, to have a bird's eye view, to have the conscious observer perspective, the third person perspective, the first person perspective, and to know that the perspective is never set in stone. Everything is temporary. We're always in a state of impermanence, and sometimes that perspective works in our favor, and sometimes it's hard for us because we don't want to alchemize. We like where we're at. Thank you, Eagle Condor, for being with us. So much to say about Eagle Condor these days and perspectives that I'm gaining myself personally. Oh, Mother Earth, we've gathered for your honoring all of your children, the stone people, the third, the finned, the four-legged, the two-legged, the no-legged, the many eight-legged, the hundredth-legged, like this entity. Thank you, tillers of the earth. Thank you, decomposers, composers. Thank you, Mother Earth, for helping to make us and unmake us. Thank you for the sacred geometry that you provide. Thank you for the physical realm for us to exist in. All of our relations. Aho. And the points that I just wanted to show, I'm seeing if it's going to root or not. And I'm not using any special hormone fertilizers or anything, just seeing if this is meant to be, how long will it be. And it's not helpful, Great Spirit, that Rosie keeps ripping at it, but thank you for the beauty, Mother Earth, even if we're not directly connected to you in the soil, we're connected through the air, water, and of course the passionate fire that burns in our heart. Again, aho. Father, Sun, Father, Sun, Grandmother Moon, and Jupiter Star Nation, Great Spirit, you who are known by 1,000 names, and you who are the unknown. Thank you for bringing us closer together and allowing us to sing the song of life. And thank you, Star Nation, for connecting all of the cousins and family members, the greater family nation that we all belong to and our greater oneness. And today I'm thinking about the Star Nations Extra because folks like Bridgit coming from the stars, all of us coming from the stars, reincarnating, coming back over and over again. And also, I think about my own personal growth with the moon cycles and other cycles that I've been working with, and it's connected to astrology. And so I'm just helping to learn about Star Nations and taking it all with a grain of salt, making my own connections. And I do feel better connected. I got a little bit ahead of myself there. Forgot to open up my Witakocha. I do have a little checklist. And I'm just noticing that my battery here is unplugged. So let's open up the Witakocha. And if you forgot, it's okay. It's all about the intention. Okay, computer is charging. Okay, and the Witakocha today is like big. I would have liked to have gone like this a bit longer, but I just felt like big opening. So feel it, feel the Witakocha, feel my Witakocha, feel yours. Okay, so I don't even know where to start. I'm really excited. I took pictures. My pictures don't even know where to start because they're not in order. So I thought I would just tell you a little bit about what I did and then show you some pictures. And if you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comments. I love when folks participate. And if you're looking for some community, please join my Facebook group, Dragon Dreams. That's pretty much the main hub where I'm funneling everybody. And personally, I'm finding it easier to create and upload videos on YouTube to share on Facebook. Something I learned was when I go on Facebook Live, it just automatically deletes after 30 days. And so if you have any tips or tricks to social media, I'm open, especially to RRSC, so that more folks can have availability to my content for free. So anyways, The goddess Bridget, this time of year, as you know, planet Earth is rotating around the sun and stars, they don't move. So it's like you can think of us as a car, if you will, driving in this big giant oval of a circle, and we pass by certain neighborhoods, and those neighborhoods are the constellations. So we just finished passing by the Cancer constellation, then we drove by the Leo constellation, and now we're moving on. Okay, good for us. Well, as we pass by these constellations, we're also passing by archetypes and the energies and biology of beliefs that come with those energies, stories from the past, the wisdom that comes with it. So I always take things with a grain of salt these days and apply it to myself and invent my own new stories because we're always in a state of alchemy. And so even if there's a very, very specific step one, step two, step three tradition from a million years ago, we need to honor that that in itself would have alchemized over all of these years. And so what I'm trying to express, and it is trying to be trying, is that we are the authors of our stories, and that makes us the authority. So if we are changing tradition to meet our conscious evolution, so our thinking and understanding is in a state of continuum where we're making sense, that's what matters. And that's honoring the past by shedding what we no longer need, stories that don't make sense to us anymore, and updating those stories. And I'm wondering how folks out there are relating and connecting to what I'm saying. I know sometimes when people are talking like I'm talking, that gets offensive. It's like, nope, we should not change anything traditional. And it's like, I get it. There's tradition, but then there's upgrading the tradition as well, while honoring the wisdom carried forward. So the wisdom that I've received, if you would like to learn about the goddess Bridget or Irish Celtic tradition for that matter, I highly recommend Tara braiding. So if you're interested in anything to do with Irish Celtic traditions, ancestry, specifically the goddesses, learning about women, things like going through your menstrual cycle, growing hair on your legs, that kind of stuff. Tara braiding, Tara braiding, Tara braiding. Go and see her. My intention is not to teach you about the goddess Bridget. I could not do justice. And I learned so much from Tara braiding that I always highlight her whenever I'm talking about the goddesses. And I do drop her name in my book, Dragon Dream, because her name is one of the names that I drop of people, folks that I find inspiring. So on that note, this is book 8, Scary Dreams. And I mentioned Tara braiding in here as inspirational folks. So anyways, I just want to share with you FYI. I don't want to get stressed out about teaching you, to clarify. So I also want to emphasize that I'm a huge fan of the late Ted Andrews because he was very big on making it your own. And when I really started to embrace my own spiritual journey, I was so worried that I was going to offend somebody or that maybe, oh, this isn't my culture. I shouldn't be doing this. And you know what? I've learned that there are some things that you shouldn't be doing. For example, in Canada, the Indigenous folk have kindly let us know that when it comes to doing the traditional acknowledgement, acknowledging the land, acknowledging the territory, anybody can do that. You don't have to be Indigenous, you don't have to be from this area. So that's great. But there's confusion because a lot of folks thought that you had to be Indigenous. So folks like myself, when I worked for the Langley School District, I was like one of those minority folks that was doing the acknowledgement, because we were making it a point that this is something that anybody can do. So Indigenous folks kindly also let us know that the welcoming, mm-mm, that is very specific to the Indigenous folks who live specifically in that area. So nobody is to be welcoming anybody unless it's the Indigenous folks from that specific area welcoming you. And so, you know, folks like myself, we didn't know any different. My union did a phenomenal job, the BCTF, gaining ground with Indigenous folks being proactive. Otherwise, teachers like myself, I wouldn't be aware of that kind of stuff. And so, on that note, this is the medicine. This is why it's important to share stories because it helps to clarify things like this. And this is the kind of stuff that Ted Andrews would talk about, like, you know, take something, make it your own, do a little bit of investigating, broaden your circle of friends, be open to listening to other cultures, listen to what shamans and spiritual folks have to say, listen to what folks of various religions have to say, and just take it all with a grain of salt. And if you need clarification, then you would have that level of comfort. And ultimately, you can do anything behind closed doors, right? As long as you're being safe. And that was something else. Like before you start going public with your spiritualism, um, if you're following something specific, you might want to check in with that culture or religion just to make sure you're doing it with reverence. But if you're doing like myself, um, as far as I know, I'm doing things with reverence, and nobody's approached me and said, "Hey, Gina, that's like in our tradition a big no, no, don't do that." So, excuse me. Okay, getting over a cold here. So, anyways, I feel really good about what I'm doing and sharing stories or sharing medicine, and I just am really thrilled um, not to be like in a box is what I'm trying to express. I'm really pleased that I can take a teaching from somebody like Tara Brading, who was going by Tara Wild at the time, just in case you wanted to look up information um, about her from a handful of years ago. She was using a different name. I feel really liberated, is the point. And one of the reasons I really was attracted to Tara Brading was because at that time in my life, I was really connecting with the land and spiritualism. And my mother's side is Métis, but we've never connected with the Métis Indigenous side of us. We don't have a status card or any evidence that we even are Métis, and we never really thought anything about it. Um, but then, as my own spiritual journey was unfolding, I didn't know where I belonged, you know. Um, and I just, whenever I saw Tara Brady, she very clearly looks like a white woman who's doing spiritualism and is wearing things like furs and using interesting tools, and it had like an indigenous element. And I also felt conflicted because she was really emphasizing Irish Celtic culture, which I have zero connection to. Um, but I was like really, really specifically drawn to her, and it didn't really make sense why. And it was interesting because my hair, I tried really desperately tried to have blonde hair, and it did not work out. Okay, um, my hair has this orangey natural tinge to it, and I never made the connection before, but I'm wondering, like, maybe there's some kind of Irish, Scottish, maybe an ancestor of mine was a redhead, and that's where that orangey tinginess is coming from. Maybe there is some kind of ancestry there. And when I think about the greater oneness of it all, my father's side is from Italy. So there's like, Europe, the Mediterranean Sea, countries like Pakistan. It just like the whole entire map starts to become one big giant piece of land. And I didn't feel so lost. Um, so anyway, that was um, a lot of information, and I'm just really wondering how you can connect with me. So to make my special Bridgit spirit water, in a nutshell, what I did is I took my special scarf. I've been using it for years, and it's really seen better days. And that's the point. You're supposed to take this a scarf and you put it outside your window for 3 nights during this time of year, so that the goddess Bridget, when she her energy is high, will come and bless it. And there's much to be said about the goddess Bridget. She's the goddess of sovereignty, of the purple flame in particular, goddess of summer, goddess of spring, um, goddess of the eternal flame. There's much to be said about fire keeping. Back in the days, way back in the days before electricity, back in the days, fire wasn't even a thing unless it was a lightning strike, right? Fire didn't exist. Um, or maybe if you tossed something into the lava. But people needed to learn how to make fire, and then keeping the fire going was like, you want to talk about being chained to your desk. People were basically designated to make sure that that fire didn't go out. And so the goddess Bridget, there's much to be said about her, but the connection for me is um, she keeps that fire burning for you. And she would make sure this time of year when it was cold, in her ghostly form, she would sneak into your house and stoke it and make sure that it was burning for you. And she ran a church. She kept a fire burning. There were 19 priestesses who attended this eternal flame. After Bridget died, this flame was well tended for like years and years after the fact. And then because of things like war and whatnot, it stopped, but it's actually burning again. And if I had a better memory recall, I would tell you exactly where. So go check out Tara Brading if you want to learn about the goddess Bridget. But these are the connections that all went into the thinking. I heard about the goddess Bridget maybe 4 or 5 years ago now. My cat Rosie and we play Bridget every morning. I brush Rosie and she gets some treats. We pretend to be goddesses, and the goddess Bridget was known for like brushing rabbits and stuff like that and making sure that their fur was taken care of. Again, there's lots to be said about the goddess Bridget, but she's also a goddess of protection. And at that time in my life, when I was first hearing about her, all of these themes were coming together, like the passionate fire, somebody who's there to like stoke the fire um, so that it won't permanently go out. There's this um, planning um, because the month of January, it's the Imbas Gras now, where there's the light you can see, metaphorically see, but there's also the literal seeing because it starts to get brighter now. And then now we're in February and it's starting to get brighter. And so the goddess Bridget, the time of spring and planting seeds, the connection to the moon energy and the women's menstruational cycles and the womb and tomb, all of these connections. Like it just, I used to be a really big fan of Morgan Le Fay, and I still am. But when I heard about the goddess Bridget, it just seems like, wow, she's like one goddess, at least for me, that seems to embody all of the goddesses. It's too overwhelming for me right now in my journey to learn about every single goddess that's out there. And so I just like to resonate with a handful, about a dozen of them at the most. And for me, the goddess Bridget, she represents the triple flame. So each side of the flame that creates a triangle has a face. So there's like the maiden face, the old woman, the crone face, and then I don't remember the other face, but there's different aspects and symbolism. The color purple, Bridget is the purple flame specifically. At the time, I didn't have anything purple, so I had this blue scarf, so it worked out. the pictures that I'm going to show you, I have the blue light on, which I have the blue light on right now, just to appeal to my biology. So um, let's rewind now. So how did I do this? How did I make this Bridgit spirit water? So what I did is I took my scarf, and this year where I'm staying, there's a screen, so I couldn't open the window and just kind of slam it closed. I put it outside on the tree, and my mom actually joined me this year. We didn't get into all the stories about Bridgit, but we put our scarves on the tree. It was very snowy, and we left it out there for 3 nights over the course of the full moon. And then um, after the third night, in the morning, weeping our wisdom in the dark, um, I told my mom, now you just take your scarf in, hang it over something to dry, and that's your special Bridget scarf. So when you're having a bad day or you feel like you need protection, you just put that scarf on. And that's the metaphor. Okay, great. So that's what she's doing. Good for her. Okay, but me, I'm now taking it to the next level. So I've got my scarf. Yay, me, check off list. I'm wearing it today because it's fresh. Um, this scarf, I call it my dream scarf, but I think it's going to be like a retired scarf now that I don't take out of my home. And I'm going to use it for arts and crafts to make it special. Or if I need to hang something, I'll just rip a little piece of my scarf. And I think that's going to be basically how my scarf sees the last of its days. So I'm looking forward to that. Whereas initially I was like clinging to my scarf. I wanted it to be brand new and always be in a state of brand newness. But I just love it. The more tattered it gets. Okay, so anyway, so we brought the scarves in, and I laid mine out to dry. And then what I did is I took some crystals. I've got 6 of them, and I made a circle around my scarf. So the energy from the scarf overnight would go into my crystal. So while that was happening, I also took some snow from the tree and put it inside here. So um, overnight, I had my Bridget scarf laying out with my crystals making a circle around it. I measured half this bottle in advance with vodka, put it in here. This was just to hold my crystals. And then I put my snow, and there was a couple of twigs that made their way in here, and the twigs kind of looked like crow's feet. I just thought that was cool. There was a bird connection, because like I was saying, Morgan was saying, the connection with like birds, crows and ravens, and also the goddess Bridget, Bride, Birdandia, Birdie is the nickname. So I was like, like I'm working with the biology of belief, and that's what this is all about. Only you can make it special. So I took my snow water and put it in here. It's a crystal quartz test tube. And then I put it inside here with my vodka. The reason I did that is because I can't control if there's something dangerous in the snow, some kind of dirt. So as long as I put it in here and then put it in my vodka, it's fine. I don't have to worry about cross contamination, if you will. And this now overnight transforms into an elixir. So it's not just vodka anymore. It's an elixir with the essence of the snow and the tree. I believe it might have been a cedar tree going in here. Okay, so that's great. Then I took my Bridget crystal, made sure this was cleaned out, because the crystals will melt away if they get wet. So I made sure this was nice and dry. Put my crystals in here, and then I put this inside my elixir for another night. So now the essence of the Bridget scarf is being mixed in here as well. And I also measured in advance. I was drinking some lemon ginger tea, and that's my style. Whatever I'm drinking at the time, that's going to be the flavor of the water. And so this time it was lemon ginger. Honestly, it didn't really have a lemony ginger taste to it. Again, this is just something you wet your lips with. You don't actually drink it. So anyways, that was something I noticed. So I um, took my lemon ginger tea. This is a different bottle, but I put it in here as well. So this could sit for a night under the light of the moon. I put a sock over it just to make it special. And it just so happens that the sock that I grabbed had mushrooms on it. So there was no anything mixed in with the water. But I just thought it was cool because mushrooms, shrooms, there was no drugs involved, um, or enhancers or anything like that. But it was like my subconscious mind, if you will, telling me like, you don't need to do drugs to open your mind. You can just work with illusion, like you'll see in the picture, there's a sock that I have with a picture of mushrooms on it. So it just plays, like in a positive way. You want to fart around and fuck around with your mind in faith ways. Um, so, so then basically, that was it. And because I pre-measured everything, I just basically dumped my vodka, and then I dumped my orange lemon in there. Um, this little guy here, there used to be a nice crystal on it. This is a routine I do now. I bless my water every day, and this little owl just sits there. So um, I was just kind of like randomly doing it, but now that I've like done this with my special Bridgit spirit water, I feel like I'm gonna do this all the time with this little owl guy. Um, and so whenever I drink tea, so now we have two storylines on the go. There's how I made this, and then just everyday tea that I drink. This tea that I drink every day, um, from now on, when it has this little owl on it, I say special words, thanking the water, blessing the water. I'll tell you more about it on a different time. And this guy just stays on here. So it's just appealing to the logical mind. It's like a necklace or something. It's a pendulum, but it's like the bottle's wearing it, like it's a trophy. It is special. It is special tea that I'm going to drink to hydrate me. And the symbolism that goes with the owl, seeing beyond seeing the truth, handling the truth. So that owl and these crystals, um, they all have to now sit in the moonlight overnight. And so um, usually I leave this stuff right on the edge of the window, but I don't want the crystals to melt because it's a bit wet with the snowy weather that we're having. So I'm just leaving it off to the side here. So just like I would clean any crystal, I just leave it to the moon to do that. The best case scenario is a full moon, but me, I just leave it overnight. It doesn't matter what the moon cycle is. um, and then my scarf, I put it on. I smelled it. It smells so good. It smells like fresh air. Something I forgot to mention was I accidentally, I initially poured too much, more than half full. So I thought, oh, I have this extra um, vodka elixir mixed with the snow and crow's feet branches. So what am I going to do with that? And I thought about doing lots of things, but then at the last minute, I actually just put it in a jar, ripped a piece of the scarf off, and soaked it in the jar. And then my intention was to rip just a little piece, not a big thing like this, and just tie it on here, just to symbolize that this is the Bridgit spirit water. But Initially, I was going to keep this, and I don't know. I couldn't put it together. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but I'm just going to not mix it with the tea. But this is like just vodka and, like I said, the essence of the snow and branches. And so the next morning, it wasn't soaking wet, but it was damp. And I just randomly, and that's the power, randomly had this desire to wash my face with it. So I took a picture just of like the cloth on my face, just to be like, here's the picture. But like, um, it was almost like the goddess Bridget was blessing me and cleaning my eyes, protecting my eyes, um, in all different kind of metaphors and where they're very divisive. Um, and it was very specific to my eyes, my forehead, and very specific to my face. I didn't feel the urge to go here or behind my neck. I didn't feel the urge to wash my hands with it. Just and the first thing I did actually was put it right over my eyes. And so I thought this is really cool because you see, my subconscious mind had a plan. On a conscious level, I didn't know what I was doing with this. Like this part here, I didn't know, but I just knew. I didn't know what soak it in the vodka. I trusted myself. I didn't want to break off a big thing like this, but I needed like a big enough piece. Why? I didn't know at the time. Well, because I needed to wash my face with it. Then I took it and wrapped it around here. As soon as I put this around here, I almost started crying because this bottle, it's just a bottle, right? But as soon as I put this on, I was like, oh my God, that's me. This is me, folks. This is me wearing my Bridget scarf, right? Um, if I only took a little, string and tied it on, it would not have had that same impact on me. I needed to have a big piece. I needed to tell a story. I have, this piece that was soaked in the vodka. The vodka is like the hardcore, I mean, business medicine. Okay, well, that hardcore is here, the protection, and I had to wipe it on my face, and I've got this. So I'm feeling good. What will become of this next year? Who knows? I have no idea, but I'm really looking forward to it. But I'm telling you, like as soon as I put this on, it was like poof, this is me. And when I travel, uh, I wear this scarf, which doesn't always match with what I'm wearing. It stands out. Um, so I feel really good, you know. Ah, anyways, I'm going to show you those pictures now. And I'm wondering how you can relate. So put it on screen share. Okay, and I think I'm at the bottom of the screen. Yeah, there I am. And okay, I don't want to close Zoom by accident. In theory, I have my folder here. And like I said, the photos got mixed up. Okay, so I'm just going to show you these photos quick because now I've told you the story. So this is a snowman that my mom made. um, my scarf is here, the Bridget scarf, and my mom's is down here somewhere. It was black. Um, so here's my container. I intentionally have blue light. At one point I thought, oh no, I should have the purple light because purple is the color for Bridget, but I've been working with blue energy lately. Um, these pictures are hard to see. I know that. It appealed to the biology of belief. Here's the Bridgit scarf wrapped around. So the test tube, there's the crystals in my hand. I enjoyed taking pictures throughout this process. Here's the finished bottle. Taking pictures throughout these kind of things, I find it takes away, but then it makes for a nice memory. This is me with the Bridget scarf on my face. Here I am just showing, like, now I'm putting this scarf into a mason jar with the leftover vodka mixture. And the reason I use the test tube is because back in the day when I was not too far back in the day, just a handful of years ago when I was starting to do the gemstone readings, I was making my own connections and I wanted to make elixirs with the gemstones. And her name is Sarah Thomas. If you want to learn about stones, stone medicine, definitely Sarah Thomas. And you can get gemstones and whatnot from her. They're sustainable. I learned a lot through her. Uh, if I had a memory recall, I would share with you all the information that she shared with me. But for somebody like myself who doesn't have the best memory recall, I learned that using the test tube was the best case scenario because, just take it off screen share for a moment, because the power of the test tube is nothing is directly mixing. So at that time, I fell down the rabbit hole and I was watching all kinds of shows about like how to make elixirs, how to work with like lines and swirls and trying to develop meaning here. And it wasn't through Sarah Thomas, it was just the YouTube rabbit hole that I fell down. And I was watching a story about a woman who um, read mussel shells. And I thought that was very inspiring because she was talking about how she came from a family that read rocks and the land. And so based on the rocks and the land and the different colors and layers, it would help her people know where they would have like better success finding something because the chemistry was there. They didn't understand the chemistry, but they understood the signs like lines and whatnot and the veins and rocks. And so she became known as somebody who reads mussel shells in her community. Well, this woman ended up becoming really sick, not just physically, but mentally. And it didn't make any sense. And it just dawned on people one day that, oh my God, the mussel shells are basically poisoned with mercury. And this woman's been touching mussel shells since like her childhood. It's her thing. And lo and behold, they tested her and she had mercury poisoning. And so she had to actually stop reading mussel shells, stop touching them with her skin. And I never even considered something like that. So working with the elementals, even though it's nature and we're made from nature, we still have poisons that we need to be careful of. And so I got scared. And so if there's one lesson that I took away from Sarah Thomas, is somebody like me, you just put it in a test tube and then you don't have to worry. So there's lots of different ways to make elixirs, but somebody like me, that's the way to do it, and that's okay. So let me put it back on screen share, and it's really nice just hanging out with you, um, sharing this with you today. So if you go back a couple screens, you'll see Rosie. Throughout the process, Rosie is always with me, and I thought it was hilarious because she's always acting tired, like she's the one doing all of this work. And I just thought it was hilarious because she she's lying down in this picture where I like to sit down, and so it's like she had to go and sit down in my place and make sure that place was taken care of so I could keep doing like the Bridgit work. Like it was like a buddy system or something. It was really cute. So I took these pictures during the day just as like a memory, but at nighttime, um, I would take my candle and I would walk down the stairs and I'd have to go and get the vodka, but I pretended that, like this flower and that flower were like some kind of gatekeepers that were granting me special access. And this, of course, wasn't a staircase. It was some like part of a mountain that I had to go down. And I usually turn on, there's a big light over here. Um, but this morning I just took my candle for the lighting, but I took the pictures during the day so you could see. Um, so I had to get the vodka. The vodka was in of course, way at the back of this cabinet. And so I was trying to be quiet, not to wake up my roommates that I was imagining were like ogres and wild animals. And me, the goddess Bridgit, I had to go on this journey and find the special vodka. Um, this was me leaving my room, and the Spider-Man door stopper was like the first gatekeeper that I had to cross. It's just all these like ridiculous storylines, right? But it added to the biology of belief, and especially because I did this when it was dark. All of that shadow play in a positive way helped with the mind fucking, I call it. Um, I this here is what it looked like during the daytime. So there's just my binders and stuff in the background, but here's um, just ignore this here. The focus is on just this bowl here with the bud cut in it. Um, inside here, um, sorry, this here has tea in it. You can't see it. This here um, has vodka and the test tube. That's this shape right here, the test tube. And here is the leftover vodka I had with the piece of a scarf in it. This here, significance, my fingers represent the elementals, the middle finger represents the fire, the passion. So it's very intentional that my little candle holder here, I'm holding it with my middle finger, the fire connected with the fire, more connection with the goddess Bridgit. The Rosie kept coming in this area, and I just felt like it was a fire hazard. So I had to actually leave the fire burning off to the side. But I just wanted to make sure it was in there. I also had some incense. So the emphasis here is just me putting this tiger um, owl in the window. That way it could sit there overnight to cleanse. Again, these pictures are in mixed order. Here's just, initially I was taking too many pictures trying to document all. There's Rosie in the nighttime helping me out. It was really pretty and really special. Um, I could see clearer than what these pictures show, but just all this like trippy glowiness added to it. During the daytime, there was like rainbow type color swirling in there. This one here, you can see my incense. So as I was documenting, I'm not used to documenting myself, but I was trying to show like, here's step one, the jar's empty. Now here's step two, it's full. This one here just turned out really cool, but it's me wearing the Bridgit scarf. Finally, it's officially, the 2 days. Now I'm wearing it. I intentionally left my face out. I want it to be about the scarf. Um, this here, just um, my stuff. Um, because I tried taking pictures like here are the crystals inside the test tube. Now it's empty. I was trying to document that I was using throughout the process, the Bridgit scarf, um, since I needed to dry the inside of the test tube, I used the Bridgit scarf to do that with. Um, this bowl, um, in this picture, you can see there's the bottle, but before it was just like, and if I found myself like splashing anything, what I'm trying to say is I used the Bridgit scarf to make it more meaningful. And then I was trying to show in this picture, like, see how it's not completely dry inside? It needs to be dry inside because if I put these crystals in here, it probably would have been fine, but you really don't want to be mixing your crystals with moisture. I was taking pictures of me like pouring the water, um, vodka spirit water in there. And my candle, this is where I left it. This is what I'm wearing today, my purple. These scarves here, I don't know if you've been noticing. These are my clothes slash scarves that I wear. This is a nice one. This is one of the first pictures of just the Bridgit scarf, and then I've got the crystals around it. This isn't the best picture, but I wanted to take a picture of the trees across the street. I connect with them. There's some deer that come here. So I was thinking about Bridgit and my own like pine tree forest, bridging my waking life with the dream life. There's other trees to show you. So this here, this was like the water that I was just like drinking in general. This was the special water that was going to be mixed with the vodka in here. This was the sock I was talking about. And another reason I wanted to put a sock on here, I forgot to mention earlier, is because, it's nice to use clear glass, but ultimately when you're making elixirs and stuff like that, perfumes, you want to use um, like dark brown beer bottles, basically, um, just so the sun doesn't get in there. And so it was because the goddess Bridgit is representative of protection. That's another reason why I put the stock on. It's like this is being protected. Like I want the sun to penetrate it, but it was the moon's emphasis and the nighttime emphasis. So it was like, here's a sock to protect you during the day, and making like that connected to the goddess Bridgit connecting with me. It just so happens that my clear crystal quartz and my pink quartz are in these pictures. It wasn't part of the my ritual. If you're wondering, I like to keep both of these by my water that I drink. So they're just always there. And sometimes I change these around. But in case you were wondering, this is just coincidence. I thought about taking them out of the picture, but I was like, no, the goddess Bridgit, I want her to have like this mixture, to have the clarity and the unconditional love mixed in there as well. And like I mentioned earlier, I think I mentioned it earlier, when I make my spirit water, whatever um, tea I'm drinking, I just use that. So here's Rosie again being part of the process, my little mini breed bride, Brigandia. Here's a good picture. This was the snow and then pieces of the tree that fell in. Um, so for safety's sake, I don't have to worry about like anything dangerous. It's just the test tube takes care of that for me. This here, I just rolled the sock down a little bit to show you. And the reason there's some missing is because that was taken away um, because I pre-measured it so it could fit in here. And then what did I do with the rest of the water? I drank it. So I drank it the next morning, thinking about, the goddess Bridgit. There's Rosie in deep thought. It's hard to get a picture of her sitting nicely. And there's another one too there. Had some ladybugs, which I didn't know. Lady beetles, is that what they're actually called? They were coming in the hole in the screen, so we were there. But Rosie, She was like fixated looking out the window. There is nothing there, but it's in moments like that I think, oh, maybe Rosie is connecting with the goddess Bridget because, the goddess Bridget really likes animals. And every morning when I play my spirit music, Rosie is there. This tree in particular, I connect with. Um, these trees, these four trees, I connect with them. They're like four archetypes. And so when I first moved to my new location, these four trees were like my four friends um, in the neighborhood, if you will. And then I changed the room around, and now I see these trees. So when I'm in my bed, I see this view. When I'm sitting at the desk, I see this view. And again, it's this broader connection. These trees are in the yard, but as you can see across the street, there's a little bit of a space and forest going on. Um, and I'm just having a lot of fun playing, imagining with my mind. There's Rosie sitting on my chair. And I just wanted to show that the rose that I have, my dad gave that to me yesterday, but I've been working with the Life Death Life cycle. I intentionally didn't go out and buy a new plant because I want to see where things go with the poinsettia. And right here, I don't know that one of the leaves from the poinsettia came off. So I thought, oh, let's see if I can get it to root just to see. This is a nice one of the daytime. I just took the picture so you can see the crystals clearer. And what's really awesome is you can take these crystals and put anything in the middle, leave it overnight, and then the essence is inside the crystals. And then you just take the crystals, plop them inside your test tube, put it inside water, vodka, vinegar, or whatever your mixture is. You could just put it in water and leave it overnight and then drink it the next day. So I'm very interested in what other folks out there are doing. How are you making sense of the world around you? There's another one of Rosie in my spot again. This one I just thought was a better view at the time because you can see my bottle here. There's this bottle, even though it was empty, it was important that it was there because I was imagining and pretending that the very breath of life, air elementals are blessing us as well. This year I took a picture of the moon. It was, 99%. It wasn't at 100, but I was still moving forward anyway. Some folks out there, they don't do anything till it says 100% on there. Let me know about you. This full moon was special to me because my constellation is Leo, and the full moon often is right there in Leo space, and I do feel the intensity. So I'm working on my voice chakra and just the last like handful of full moons, just really watching it move literally, at least using this app that I'm using here. It's free. Um, again, working with the biology of belief, I'm getting like cleansed by the moon. And I really appreciated that the moon was here, closer, like exiting the throat chakra, going to the heart chakra, um, because that's where there needs to be like clarity in my life, this whole upper region. The full moons have been a bit intense for me and new moons. So I think we're back to the beginning now. Oh, no, we're not, but there's the 100% full moon. Oh, in my Dragon Dreams journal. Okay, I'm getting into other pictures now. You can buy this online. It's literally blank pages, and there's a free resource inside to help you dream journal. So it's been such a joy and pleasure to chat your ears off today about the goddess Bridget, Reed, Bride for Candia. There's so much to say about her. And folks believe that she continues to reincarnate. When I first heard about the goddess Bridget, I never heard about her before, right? And women were sharing out the connection with her, and like all of them would say, like, once Bridget enters your life, she's with you forever. And I was like, okay, like listening to them. And but now I'm actually one of those women, and I'm like, yep, Bridget, she came into my life, and she's just with me now. So I hope she's with you. And something I've come to realize is that she's always been with me, and that she is me, just like I'm you and you're me. And this business, our spirit can never um, be broken, our wisdom can never be lost. Like it's that reincarnating all of those greater themes that I deeply, deeply resonate with. So let's do some fire ceremony. I got my candle here. I have a backup candle. I was wondering if it was gonna need another one or not. So I usually share what I'm loosening and letting go. My incense here is burned out, reduce, reuse, recycle. I use a little toothpick thing from the incense. Let me know what you're using. And today I want to express gratitude for Tara braiding, because I would have absolutely zero idea of the goddess Bridget and just all the connections that I've made. I was part of Tara Braiding's Roundhouse for 2 years. The third year, I thought, well, I should probably, get out of the Roundhouse and start doing my own things now, which I am doing. It's been another year now, year 4, but I think next year I'd like to uh, do something with women and Bridget through Tara Braiding, excuse me, Daughters of the Flame or something like that. So I'm thinking about Tara Braiding a lot. And then also thankful for the Ted Andrews piece, making it your own. And that's something that I really appreciate about Tara Braiding, because um, she would tell these wonderful stories that were a mixture of original source material crossed with other things that people said that may or may not be true, but then she always openly added her own spin to it. And so I just I love that. I love it, love it. So thank you so much. And something I'm letting go is perfection, because throughout this whole video, I thought about stopping it and redoing it. I thought about my pictures aren't in order, and I don't care, because this is hummingbird energy, and my intention, my focus, it's more about FYIs. It's not about teachings, if you will. And something that I'm promoting is that we're a story species. Stories are medicine. So that's me, and I'm thankful for that. So through the letting go, I'm narrowing down more and more what works for me. So just letting go. And if you noticed on my website, I had a phenomenal promotion available to everyone, and I actually took that down because, again, I'm like just itching to provide folks out there with my transformational healing program. Nobody is signing up for it. Why am I keeping that focus? My clientele, eventually they'll sign up for that. Right now, the focus is on me producing more books, me being available, building Soul Tribe, me creating stories and videos and sharing it with you just like this, and doing things like attending the Full Disclosure Now conference. And something that I'm still processing was it's been brought to my attention. Folks out there are really interested in my gemstone reading. That's just something I do for me that I now share with others. Okay, okay. So I myself am experiencing a lot of redirection. It was hard to take those programs down for transformational therapy to make more space for gemstone readings, and so I'm really excited. Um, really excited because I'm learning that 2025 for me is quite the transitional year, quite the year of letting go. I have a lot to let go because I have a lot of space that's going to be filled with me writing books and writing gemstone readings, and something that's very simple and that comes to me with ease is working out. So it's great. So you can go in the comments how you do fire ceremony. Is it just for safety in case it falls? No. Want to burn the other end. Sometimes I blow into both ends, and sometimes I use two sticks because then you run into this problem where it's too small. So I'm just gonna blow into a new one. Gonna set this one on fire. If it'll stay on fire, and just drop. It's not on fire anymore. All about the intention. The idea is to burn it until there's nothing left. Um, if you have an actual fireplace, throw it in that fireplace. One thing that I love about camping. And you can always twist the paper up too. So anyways, that's it for today. My name is Gina Virginia Casella. Thank you so much for joining me, Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective. Let's just close in sacred space, closing the Vitacocha. Thankful to Snake for all the shedding that I do, for Jaguar for helping me to transform and transcend, Hummingbird remembering to only carry my highest quality items with me forward and to only drink the finest nectar. And wow, I've got two finest nectars right now. My everyday spirit water, and then I've got my special Bridgit spirit water. Thank you so much, Hummingbird. And thank you to Eagle Condor for all of this perspective. One perspective with that's really resonating with me is not just remembering lessons, but applying the lessons, right? Applying the knowledge, which isn't always easy. And um, the perspective that I'm always a student, even when I'm a teacher. I'm always learning. We're always weaving between student teacher between those archetypes. And I'm thankful for Pachamama, Mother Earth, because I am the earth. I'm a different form of a walking, talking tree, and help me to be a better steward of this land, um, helping me, Star Nation, connecting me to the deceased, to cousins and family, near and far from this place we call planet Earth. And I'm thankful for my spirit guides, Amanda, Polaris, Manus. There's many to name, and the goddess Bridget is one of them. Inside my gemstones, I have one of my rocks represents all of the goddesses. And a special thank you to the Tara Braiding and the Roundhouse. And today we are expecting, I think we're getting 20, 25 centimeters of snow, and then tomorrow we're getting another like 10. So they're just saying like 30 centimeters of snow. It's a lot of snow. Please be safe wherever you are. And please take care of yourself and each other. And oh, and I forgot to mention, I'm wearing this hat because intentionally, I wear this in the summertime, and it looks thick, but it's not very thick. I like to wear it in the summer, and it's also in the fall. I kind of feel like I'm some kind of scarecrow walking around, some kind of cowboy scarecrow. I don't know. And also, it just kind of has like a little bit of a witchy look to it. And I like that it's not pointed up, it's down. And the goddess Bridgit, there's a story. But just the gist of the story is that the goddess Bridget was kidnapped, and she had to do things like sewing, and she was provided for and taken care of, but still she was kidnapped, right? Um, and so she started dreaming about her husband that she didn't even meet. And so my hand is still up. So she was kidnapped and dreaming about her husband that she didn't even meet yet. She wasn't married or anything. And then this guy started dreaming about Bridget being stuck somewhere, and they started communicating to each other in dreams. And so this hat just kind of makes me feel like back in the day when, you know, everybody wore a hat and just scarves and stuff, like a old school cowboy traveler. And just I don't know, I catch glimpses of myself in the mirror, and I just see my body and how I look. Um, and I don't know, it's like glimpses of archetypes from the past. But anyways, the point of the story is that through dreams, a man and a woman came together. So the goddess Bridget would, she was just Bridget at the time, that she would dream, tell him like, oh, like these dangers are going to come your way. And the goddess of winter was making it difficult for Bridget's, soon to be husband to come and save her. So she would warn him about the storms that were coming, and the husband ended up coming to save her, and then they ended up getting married and actually became a husband and wife. So that's very appealing to me. I'm like Dream Scarves, the story of dreams. There's, like I said, lots to say about the goddess Bridget and just this business of manifesting. But I thought it was really special too, because my birthday is in August. And so if you're ever wondering, like, in the springtime when you get really nice, beautiful sunny weather and you swear it's summer. And then in August, it's like out of nowhere, you get this like really crappy weather that you would almost think it's winter. Why? And the reason is because the goddess Bridget, because back in those days where she was kidnapped and dreaming information to the husband and the husband dreaming to her, that communication, because Bridget is the goddess of spring and the goddess of summer, what she did is she had a conversation with nature, so to speak, and was like, hey, nature, hey, seasons, what do you think? Because right now it's winter and my husband is on his way to try and save me. So why don't we exchange 3 days of summer for 3 days of winter? So during this time when Bridget's husband was traveling to try and find her, he was battling against the worst winter because the goddess of winter, I get my goddesses mixed up, Helen, Talia, Sarah, and scared I got my goddess mixed up, but one of those, maybe none, but maybe it was one of those. Um, was causing like severe winter storms. And so 3 days of summer came and basically cleared that storm so the husband can get through. But now, have to remember the exchange in the month of August. Yeah, you're going to get 3 days of really crappy weather because of that exchange. And it's always been beautiful weather on my birthday. Usually it's sunny. Sometimes it'll be rainy, but even if it's rainy, it's usually like a beautiful day. The sun comes out and it shines. And so when I was first learning about this story, I was like, thank you for remembering my birthday, Bridget. Because sometimes it does snow in the summer. You hear those stories, right? But anyways, I just really enjoy coming on here, and I need to figure out how to share pictures while I'm live on YouTube. That's why I made this video in advance. So anyways, thank you again so much for joining me on the Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube at Gina Virginia Casella. I'd love for you to join my group, Dragon Dreams, and absolutely make sure you visit my website, ginavirginiacasella.com, because there's lots of free content ready for you to enjoy. And I'd love to hear how you resonate in the comments. I really love to hear that. And there's also links. So if you wanted to buy my books and even have me as a guest on your show, I love providing free mini gemstone readings to you and your subscribers. And it's a great way if you're fundraising money for something that your subscribers can get a very affordable gemstone reading from me, a mini one, to help you fundraise something if you're going to an event. So absolutely connect with me about being a guest on your show. And I've got the Sacred Sync Club that you can register for the first Wednesday of each month, and also celebrating the solstice and equinoxes throughout the year. Check out my website. So again, thank you so much. I really thoroughly enjoyed my time with you today, and I just adore to hear how you resonate in the comments. So take care, and we'll see you next time.